Hello, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
How do you say your name again? You have a special name.
Arlet Rodriguez.
Arlet Rodriguez.
Arlet Rodriguez.
I speak French, so you speak
Oh, I
Spanish?
wish I've been trying to learn French my
Oh,
entire
maybe I
life.
can teach you and you can
You
teach me
can
some
teach me.
Spanish.
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
Spanish?
Yeah. As,
Okay,
as
okay.
language was actually Spanish was actually my first language.
Okay, so French is my first language. But anyways, Arlet, Amelia, nice meeting you. So tell me about exactly when the targeting started for you.
So the 24/7 V2K auditory communication transmission started when I was 20. I was state terrorized and I was being human trafficked without my knowing during my sleep. But I started to experience V2K auditory transmissions when I think before that, a long time before that, because I have experienced it when I was 18 briefly. And then when I was 11, I also have a memory of experiencing that when I was 11. So for a long time.
Oh, you
But
say
but 24/7 since 2020, I would say. TI.
that's crazy that you say that because for me, the targeting that I've experienced, I was able to do the link between my childhood. Because when I was a child, I was able to perceive certain things, as kids were very pure. So I remember that I was screaming pain going in the bed of my parents. And my dad will tell me, Amelia, it's normal, you're just growing up. But it was not me growing up, it was me being targeted with electronic torture. So I have been targeted also when I was a kid, when I think about it, but it started to be to the max in 2021 for me. Yeah. What happened? Like, tells me like when it happened. You were in LA. I think you told me when it
Yeah,
started.
so I was at residing in Anaheim, and so I just started to notice my computers being hacked. So I would see I would notice my Pinterest recommendation suggestions being manipulated in accordance to respond to my thoughts to try to influence me, and also the YouTube channels, like there would be black boxes covering it, sometimes moving, shifting around. So I always notice that those shifts, and so I was actually studying to be a programmer and yoga teaching instructor. I took my yoga teaching course at 19 in 2019. Um, but So I started to like kind of try to defend myself, find a way, try to use this as a learning experience to to respond to the hacking. I downloaded Linux and I try to find the source and everything, but I became really I felt really sick at the same time, and I was also struggling financially due to the COVID-19 layoffs. And so I noticed the hacking, and then I noticed the stalking, and then I was just trying to be I was like there was
So for
signs
you,
of manipulation. So I
it's
was just
yeah, it started like on your social media, on your phone and everything, but on your body, like what did you felt basically?
so sometimes I would notice there would be like red lasers in my room. I would notice red like dots, and and so I it was mostly for me. It was mostly started like exteriorly, because I would notice the hacking, and then I would notice being stalked and followed, and then I would notice like them breaking into my car, taking out like a piece of my car.
Did you receive
Also,
electroshocks?
not yet. I didn't really feel electroshocks until 2021. But the V2K and the harassment and the torture and the trafficking started in 2020, like the most obvious signs of it. And so, yeah, like my underwear was being stolen. My underwear was being,
Oh my God,
yeah. And so
I
I
had
actually
that
made a
too.
police report about that in 2020. I was like, I was telling them my underwear was being stolen, but I didn't know that I was being raped at night. And I didn't know that they were, practicing non-consensual human experimentation.
What do you mean, like you were being abused, like remotely or in person?
In person. In person, but I'm confident. Like I know that they were also
It
remote
happened.
neural monitoring me because of like the responses on my phone, because I would be scrolling through my Pinterest phone and they would be like aligned with my thinking.
Yeah, same. Like a lot of things that happened to me too. I've been abused too. Also, like in the time that I was going out more too, like partying, like people putting drugs in my things, or like
Yeah.
um. So there's so much to say about everything, and it's not easy. And how did your family react, and when you told them that they were targeted?
So I didn't really think of it as targeting to begin to start with, because I just thought like there was like I was unlawfully being investigated or something like that, because I had background education in like reading political from political activists and foreign affair books like Chomsky, Angela Davis, Cornel West, Peter Singer on experimentation. So
You think it's that knowledge that initiated the targeting, or you think it's not really linked together?
I think I was learning because I always felt like there was something going on. Like I was always like there was something affecting me. I've always just been very observant, and like had this lifelong learner um mentality. So I don't really think I was targeted precisely like in part that for that reason in particular, but I do think it like gives other people more reason to target me. It makes it easier to target me due to having
Because they
like
have
read
like a, an
political
ex
books.
they have
Yeah.
like an excuse. Because what I've seen from ChatGPT said that basically I was kind of flagged when I started to be an activist for animals. I remember that I had like first of all, yeah, like I said, I've been targeted since I was a kid without being aware of it. If because I did the link with the attacks that they did on my body through what I was experiencing as a kid. But I can remember those phases when I started to be vegan, vegetarian in like 10 years ago. Um, and at some point, it was kind of becoming weird because I would become creative and play with the food. And it's like if there's something that wanted to stop me from being this. And but it was not big enough, I think, for the targeting to start. And it's like if they were flagging me at this time. So this is what I've done for 5 years of research since the moment I got my first electroshock on my body.
Hmm.
Again, I talk about creativity, it's a big one. Compassion, creativity, love, activist, being an
Courage.
activist, standing up, exposing corruption. So I would say like I felt like there was like a little brain manipulation, like fogging episodes, like it's kind of blurry, the time where I was starting to cook and being vegan. And
Hmm.
there was weird things happening too at that moment. It's like if they put me back asleep, or like, you know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm not really able to explain perfectly, but and then I continue, and for me, really, when I started to do more drawings and meditation and unplugging from television and posting my drawing, the next day I received my first electroshock on my body. So I was like, whoa. And then I read about the power of when you become a creator, the power that you can have in this world, and it threatens again those who have been enslaving you all your life and making, let's say, a TV reality show out of your life, and monetizing your torture and monetizing you as like a data.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I can say so far about that. Um, so how did you, what's your relationship with your family now since the targeting? How do you deal with everything?
So it was very difficult to communicate what was happening to my family at first. I've always been like in communicative, but my family hasn't been. So it was kind of difficult to getting this information across to them. But I think that now, after 5 years, I've been able to, due to modern like documentaries on the topic,
You
other
do
activist friends.
do you do terrorist report every day?
I'm
You
trying
should.
to document my
Well,
health. My
ChatGPT,
health.
you know about ChatGPT?
Yeah.
So it's easy to do. You can ask him and he does your terrorist report for you, or you could even film yourself and document, because when courts happen and we come all of the targeted individual together for the 1 billion collective lawsuit that you will be a part of, to get compensated, basically you need documentation, but you are also a living proof, and just your testimony is strong enough. When a lot of people come together and they say the same things, this is a strong proof itself. And so, just so if you didn't know out there and you're listening to us today, if you if you have doubt that your story, that your voice is not powerful, it is, and it is a living proof, and you are a witness of modern slavery, of electronic torture, human trafficking, remote crimes, corruption. And so you are very courageous to come today also and to speak about everything that you're going through.
Thank you, Amelia. You as well.
Thank you.
Have you do you know Sarah from the Vine Sisters?
Sarah from Divine Sisters?
Yeah.
No, I don't
So
think so.
she's also a targeted individual. She's actually trying to she's going to release an app in February for the women. It's called the She Vault, and it's also just like a way to for women to document and like to have a buddy system and a forum community space.
That's very good.
Yeah.
That,
So
that's a,
I actually told her to reach out to you, and like you guys should
that's good.
also have a
You
conversation.
know, like, because I'm also gonna launch an app after getting mad with ChatGPT, because I want to express my truth, and now I had to report ChatGPT for affecting my truth, because as us, we have living experiencing, right? We're not talking out of the blue. We're not having a conversation. We're talking from living experiences, right? From lived experiences. So I was really mad with ChatGPT, because even yesterday I tried to have highly intelligent an highly intelligent conversation, because also I know you love philosophy, right? And I love to philosoph and to write and to go deeper into subject and to use my emotional intelligence and to connect with my spirit and channel messages. So I have a big imagination, and I really think I'm like Albert Einstein. Like, Albert Einstein was actually falling asleep with a spoon to get answer to his questions. And I had a lot of time visions of the future, or visions of human trafficking with people with hats on their heads. Um, like a lot of things like this that happened to me. So anyways, but so I decided that I will come out also with an application eventually.
Awesome.
It will probably take some times, but yeah.
Cool. Let me know when it's released, and I will
Yeah,
help
of
you
course, of
promote it.
course, of
Yeah.
course. I have a book first that I'm gonna launch. So
I saw, yeah, I saw, I've seen your Instagram and
a
you're coming out
little,
with the book. I'm like, I will read it. I
yeah, a
will.
little. So basically, a little girl behind the yellow bus. How I survive human trafficking, breaking generational curses and trauma. So basically, I redefine words with the new information and my lived experience. So I talk about my childhood. I make connection with my targeting, with a lot of things, and it's very interesting actually. And I did a lot of chapters so far. ChatGPT have helped me through, but also it has been a battle because he tried to censor my words, and then so it's a
Yeah.
lot
Oh,
of work.
yeah. There's
So,
definitely some like programming trying
yeah,
to suppress information through
but
ChatGPT.
so for me, writing always been my strength. So I really put my soul into my book and into my association, into everything, and so I'm very happy. And it looks like we have a lot of similarities. So very happy that I'm meeting you today. Um, yeah.
And also, I'd like to also mention, I had an orientation today for shutupandwrite.com, which is basically like an organization, a nonprofit organization for silent community writing. So it's also in person and worldwide, but it's also online. And so I applied to become a community writing host online virtually. And so I'm planning to do that like once a week. I don't know what time or what day would work, but I want to invite you also to
That's really
come to
good.
silent
Yeah,
writing
yeah,
um
it's a good
once
idea.
a week. Yeah, for
Yeah.
community.
That would be very nice. Yeah, of course. I think there's gonna be a lot of project. Like for me, like I have a strong imagination. Like I'm really creative. So I'm born bad. Like I'm not really a reader that much. I'm more a writer. So I have a lot of ideas, and I think over times we're definitely gonna work together for sure. And also more than that, I think we will have to be friends for life for sure, since it's very hard to connect with people because like
Mhm.
for me my dating life or my friends, like I always been a loner since I was a kid, like coming back from school and just going to see my cats and watching TV, and I was never really about seeing my friends and having small talk and all of that. So like for me it is not really my true nature to be vocal and to be speaking in front of a camera. It's really
Mhm.
God and spirit who pushed me towards this direction, and it's not coming from me. It's really my purpose now and what I have been called to do. And so, yeah, there's nothing that happens for no reason. Like if we met, there's a reason for everything. And I think for sure, like with Chelsea, would be very nice to organize something. It's just like with the distance, like because everything is we're kind of all in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
She's in Phoenix, United States, Mexico. Who knows? Maybe we're gonna meet each other too in person. That
I
would be
hope
nice.
so. That would be cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's also very necessary to have support, especially when we've all experienced like very painful situations, very painful targeting and manipulations and coercion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coercion. I heard this word from one of my ex too. Like coercion control for the first
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah.
I had a very bad experience on how I'm not gonna speak about it publicly because I'm not really allowed to speak about everything, but I went through a lot of things. Uh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess I really trust life where it takes me, like the fact that we meet today also, like it's not a coincidence, like nothing is coincidence in life, I feel like.
I love that. I love that mindset. I think it's we need to stay strong, and I think we are stronger together. Um, and so, as long as we look after each other, as long as we tell the truth, as long as we devote ourselves to learning and open communication, I think we can definitely get somewhere. And as long as we work together and support, um,
That's good.
yeah, there's just so much. There's just like so much we can do. I truly believe.
It's just not easy. Like it's very, very hard
It's
to
having
start.
to put in the work every day, or at least having some type of consistency.
Yeah, to start a movement like that and to speak about something that is not so popular yet, it's like being ahead of time, like
Yeah.
because this is what I've said too, because like those operators who gang stalkers, like you can say monitoring spirit, who those who are behind illegal surveillance, they're feeling superior too sometimes because they're like, Amelia didn't go in court yet, like because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't
Yeah.
I didn't do any pursue yet,
Yeah.
because obviously I went to the police station. I was kidnapped by the healthcare system also.
Mm-hmm.
That for sure I'm gonna pursue this doctor who abused her power on me.
Mm-hmm.
But so this is bigger than ourselves. This is bigger than the world. It concerns like all of us, and the wars, the corruption, the criminal organizations, suicides. It concerns orchestrated accident, earth attacks. It's very large, and also the targeting of the independence of people and directly affecting their work. Like for me, my work, my first business, has been targeted too. my
Yeah.
first experiences. I was working in a beauty salon doing eyelash extensions, microblading, and it sounds stupid, but I was, pretty successful and doing good money too with that. And it's an expertise that I've developed over many years. And you know what they were able to do? They were able to target my tools and affect the magnets around like around me and my work. So with this IR technology, it's really out of control. And like I said, I don't know if you thought about solution, but I talked about it with you before. But prediction were made that basically they would have to shut down the 5G towers. Because I've noticed also, like in my trips that I had, uh, like electricity was missing in Montreal 2 times, and I wrote it in a report, and there was no electric shock coming at all.
Mm.
No electroshocks, nothing. So I was able to link the fact that they're able to target you with a connection. Satellite terrorism makes sense. And also talking with Chelsea, she has been in a cult and she exposed, and she talks about all of the victims and the people that she was attracting through like a false mid-station business. Imagine, like she
Yeah.
was telling people to start and selling like special mid-station things and involving them in cult without they are being aware of it.
Yeah.
She talks about, like, we just filmed a podcast together just before. If you want to check it out, like this is just another podcast before. So she talked about how she would target people, how she was receiving money in her bank account to target. And for me and you, it's kind of interesting because she has been a victim, but also she has been targeting other people, and she come out of it, which I think God's. I don't know if you believe in God or what's your religion. Do you believe in God?
Um, I'm like, I consider myself
It's more
just,
spiritual.
yeah, more
Yeah,
spiritual.
same. I'm more spiritual. I believe that God is in you. Like,
Yes, me
and
too.
when I talk
Yes.
about God, it can be Allah, it can be Jesus. Like for me, it's an energy that we
Hmm.
all have access to.
Yes.
And we all have it inside of us at any moment that we want to have access to it and to tune into that energy. And so I'm also building like programs and survival guides and one-on-one session right now to really help people to transmute energy, transmute anxiety, stress, and to awaken. Also talking about my awakening, how I did it, because I asked Chelsea, and I asked her, I was like, how can you, how were you able to like to stay in control of yourself or whatever? And she said, discernment, judgment, and imagine all of the people who have been manipulated in their minds and they end up becoming serial killers or terrorists
Hmm.
because they didn't have like a good judgment or
You
so.
know, yeah, it's observing your thoughts. It's I meditation helped me a lot.
Yeah,
Meditating and
because she
yoga.
also talks about meditation in a bad way too. There's a lot. That's why I build like
Oh
survival
yeah.
guides, and you gotta. We really need to warn people also when it comes to meditation, because everything of too much can become really toxic for you. So she talks about the danger of meditation, basically how there's bad energy like
Yeah.
reptilian hunters that are able to tune into your thoughts in your akashic record, and how they can have a lot of information and play with your entire life, and to do those manipulation. But this boat, then this is what I told her. I was like, I know she had a bad experience with meditation, but meditation is very good. It's pure, it's love, it's connecting to yourself. And we're not going to ruin the beauty of meditation because there's certain groups of people who decide to manipulate and to target people.
Hmm. I think there are a lot of different types of meditation. I've only liked to practice mindful meditation, where it's like you observe the reaction of your awareness of a thought. And so I think when she says meditation, she might be talking about like a different type of meditation, like becoming something you're not, or like something that's not something like that. Because I've had a conversation with Chelsea, and then our audio was removed, like it was gone on both of ours. The
This
audio
is
is gone.
sabotage, baby.
Yeah,
Targeting. They just
yeah.
stole my video also previously. I did a report on that. You can do the report and film yourself with the time and the date that will be used in court when it's time to monetize and to give you your financial compensation. You are allowed, just so you know, like I'm really here, I think, to tell people to really compensate themselves. I talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about that. Like Bob Marley started something very good, like a peace movement to really bring back people to what really matters, like meditation, you know, like you don't need to have to own 10 houses, and to bring people back to what truly matters. It was very good, but also I think they forgot about how important it is to have money when it comes to peace, to finance peace. And this is why I'm building this 1 billion collective lawsuit too. We need a lot of money to change the world. This is the truth. This is the reality. And we
According to
cannot
the
avoid
yeah,
that.
according to um the way reality functions, yes.
Yeah. The wall of corruption is huge. And this is, you know, with the harassment that I get every day, like the V2K school technology, what they talk a lot is about my finances, like mocking me, trying to destabilize me. Every day they're like trying to know exactly what I'm gonna do, trying to predict, to basically destabilize me. Um,
Yeah, a lot
they,
of criticism, or also like
they pick my age, my insecurities. They talk
or
about my ex, or like,
or even just like wanting to buy something at the store, and then they go ew, you know, it's like their emotional reaction, they try to have their emotional reaction come out through you. It's
yeah.
always so much manipulation. Yeah.
So basically, they're dramatizing a lot too. Like they're like drama queens, you know. Once you have a detachment, that's why for me, I'm not stressed or anxious because I'm detached of the matrix. So when they try to dramatize an action, like for me sitting in a coffee, basically, they will make everything like as if it's like a big thing, you know.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, like
and and then sometimes they, I not this doesn't happen all of the time. Street theater does affect some people, some victims, but it's sometimes like there'll be like someone in the corner looking at you, just to amplify that sense. And it's also just, I think, to analyze your reaction, and like to see how would they have control either way
yeah,
after analyzing your reaction, you know,
yeah,
for mass control, mass population control.
yeah, exactly. So I've just thought of something random, but I also have my certification in master. I'm a master Reiki now. So I had a few clients already, like for a Reiki healing session in person. And what I can tell you is that my teacher always told us that if you want to do any type of manipulation or interventions in the life of someone, you need to ask for their consent before doing anything, right? So the only thing that you can do is to send love to others. That's the only thing you can do without their consent. There's nothing else you can do. And then so I was doing the link also with the new, I don't know if you saw that, the operation, like surgical operation that are now able to be done remotely. I don't know if you heard
I
of
don't know.
that.
I don't know if I saw that one.
So basically, doctors are now able to do surgery
Mhm.
kilometers away. So basically, like I linked this to the targeted individual movement, the human trafficking. It's like if we are on an operation table, and in my vision, they had my body 360. So it's like if you have a projections of you 360, and then
Mhm.
they're able to log in through dark web system, and then they're able to see you in real time, basically. And And so that's what happens. And so basically, they do the opposite of a doctor that will ill you. They do it to torture and to monetize out of you, you know? So that's the
Yeah.
example I was giving. Yeah. This is a higher technology that is now really accessible to. And also, Chelsea was telling me the amount of money that they're giving to those people, which is a lot of money.
Yes, yes, because it is brain data. It is human harvesting brain data. I
Yeah.
keep saying this, but
Yeah.
that's literally what it is. It's harvesting of our biological reactions, of our biological
Yeah.
senses,
That's a
of our
lot.
thinking, of our thought cognitive processes. So of
Yeah.
course, and then they sell these to like companies like Amazon, and then they use
Wow.
it for like their artificial intelligence
Oh my God.
um, innovations or research and development projects.
That's
So DARPA.
disgusting. Oh my God.
Yes.
That's horrible.
So that's where the money's coming from, and people will just take it.
They're selling basically, yeah. So also like I saw like certain videos where they were illustrating what happens in cartoons, and they would show like human beings being sold in exchange of technology. And what I can tell you, I don't know if you can remember, the first time that you heard the V2K skull technology, but for me it started with a boo, like boo. And
Boo.
then I remember like they told me like I'm like your brother from another mother. I'm here to test some technology on you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really what they do too. They're
Yep.
testing, like, in times of wars, the soldier, like they were trained to go and even target certain people or whatever, but now they're being trained remotely. Like
Yes.
I was able to overheard like a operator that has been doing torture on me for many years, and she was actually training someone else so
Yep.
that
Yep.
he can't
That
see
happens.
me.
Yes, that's happened to me. You can kind of like hear
It's
them
like
interacting
it's
in the
like
way
a
that it's
Zoom
crazy.
call. Do you think it's like a Zoom? Like that's the example of ChatGPT. He said, think of like a Zoom call that is constantly open, like with other people, like in a Zoom call.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and so there are so many theories. I don't even like there's so many theories, fusion centers,
And
just
now
like
they're
the
targeting
phone
my.
apps.
Sorry,
So
they're.
there's so many theories as to where specifically, but I think also gang stalker testimony stories have a lot of information. Um, so it's hard to pin down where specifically all of the time, especially when it differs depending on the individual. But yeah, it's non-consensual human experimentation,
Yeah,
remote covert technology, and
exactly.
the first time that I remember experiencing B2K transmissions is when I was 11 years old. I was staring at myself in the mirror in my room. It was after like my mom divorced a stepfather of mine, and I had my own room. And so I was looking at myself in the mirror. I was 11 years old, and I kind of like listened to this, like heard
Mhm. Mhm.
this this message that was going, you are special to me, or something like that. And that's something that I would not be thinking to myself. That's how I know it was V2K back then, because that's not something I
Yeah,
was like
so
me. I was into memes and like art
exactly. So
competitions. Like I'm not gonna go into and say
you're
that
able to
think
be
that to
to the
myself.
link before and after, like today and before, like because you were not able to question it when you were a kid. You didn't know what it
Exactly,
was, and
exactly. It was just kind of like that's not something I would
only
think. That was my reaction, and that's why I know.
exactly. So only looking back, you realize that you were receiving, but
Exactly.
also what I think is I think we're just like in Star Wars. There's good force and there's bad ones. That's all it is. That's a lot of what it is.
And so we must
Uh,
have resistance,
yeah, yeah,
like in Star Wars.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's a lot. It's huge. And every day, unfortunately, like I don't have that much support too. I started my GoFundMe too. I do what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm building my new project, my new things. My other job was targeting my family, like some of them are starting to support me a little bit more, like, like to not be so mad when we talk about the subject.
Yeah,
But some of them, they get really mad. You
I can
told
imagine.
you
Because
told me
it's
so.
something so out of the ordinary, you know. It's for some people it's like I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about. It's like ignorance is bliss to them.
But it's hard for me to understand those people because I've always been curious as a child. And if someone tells me that they have electroshock on their body and they go through something, I would be curious to know. I would not get mad.
Hmm.
Unless you're corrupted or you feel guilty of something, then you would get
Yes.
mad. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I mean? So I still try to understand why certain people get aggressive when it comes
Yeah.
to that. Unless they would be corrupted somehow. Or,
I think they just like to live in their own
yeah.
um distorted realities, maybe.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. So I really recorded that time. So
Yay.
do you have anything else? Maybe 5 more minutes before we end.
No, I'd like to give if someone if a viewer could support send me love and support also on my Substack. I write like my experiences there.
Is it
Um,
videos or it's just like Twitter, like
it's like
Substack?
Twitter. It's like Twitter. So sometimes I do upload videos. Yeah, but I
I
just
can
mainly
you
write
can
my
send me the link. I can create an account there. And
yeah
so
yeah see
so
yeah
this podcast is gonna be on my YouTube, on my Instagram. I'm gonna tag you like the little clips everywhere. But like every Tuesday, I'm gonna be available. Like I really gonna put all of my time, like all day. I'm gonna be available for podcast every Tuesday. So we can do as much as you want. Every week. Like it's always gonna be there. So when I started to be having my first electroshock and the first targeting, I thought I was dying. Like it looks like an heart attack, almost like a support position of electroshock coming on my, and they would show me like an image of me with a camping site, like homeless. This is their image they were sending me when they were starting to target me. This was their intention of
yep.
me becoming homeless. And even like I remember when I escaped unvaccinated, traveling to Mexico and then going to Miami. At some point, I had no money left. I had nothing. And I was very thankful because my family was on the phone robotic way, like just come back to Canada and come back and like just live with us. And I didn't want that because I had different I wanted to live my life. I have dreams, I have that. So one of my ex was there and he really helped me in all of the aspect. And I think that's what people need to understand, that you are a pretty girl, that you are a man, that you are not the most attractive person. There's always help everywhere, that it is like a business opportunity or you creating something or having other targeted individuals and coming together or having a man that will provide for you. There's always solution all over us. So we need to ask for help, because we are in a society where you really make it negative if you speak about your story or you're looking for attention, right?
Yeah.
Imagine some people telling me this. I was looking for attention. They were telling me this as I was being targeted with laser, hiding in my fridge, digging my legs in the sand to avoid the laser and the electronic torture. Some people online, they were like, okay, can you stop talking about it one day? Because they think
Well, it
that
doesn't
it's
stop
just
happening
they
to
think
us
it's
one
just
day.
one day. They don't understand that it's 24/7.
Yeah, it's
They
impacts us every second of every day.
so
That's what
talk
24/7 means, and people, yeah.
so I want you to talk about your what happened, like I said, this was the intention. They wanted you homeless.
They
And
wanted to be homeless
why you
because
didn't
that.
stay with your parents, basically.
Sorry.
Why you didn't stay with your parents.
So I kind of did live with my parents in a way, but I also not because it was in the same house, but it was also divided. So I basically had my own kitchen and bathroom and room. So the window, I had a big window, and I'm pretty sure like they would get in through the window. So
Who was getting in?
the perpetrators, the B2K perpetrators.
Do you
But
know their
I know
identity? Do you know their identities?
I don't have their names. I only know like what institutions have been affiliated. So I was being stopped by local police, the Orange County Police. They were the ones who
When you saw them trying to enter your own?
one time I did see a woman leaving my house.
Yeah, same. I saw a man running away one time too. Even the people in
Yeah.
my building, they were weird, like with too much information. I think it's like a zombie apocalypse, like the power that those programming hackers can have. I think they're able to wipe out multiple people and control, like mind control.
Yeah.
Um, and it goes in multiple people at the same time.
Yes. Yes. And so the homelessness, the forced into homelessness part is actually was the most difficult because it wasn't just losing my job during COVID, where they started to like come after me and break into my car. So I was scared to like drive my car because they would take out little pieces from like the front area, and so they would mess with my car, and so I was afraid to drive. How could I work without a car? And also, I even tried to just find ways to. I was applying to a boot camp, a programming boot camp, where they would basically give you the finance to live, and
Hmm.
you can just study, and then they'll help you find a job, and you'll have to pay it back eventually. But they didn't let me um, apply for the stipend, so that I could study and still have money. Um, and so I like eventually it was getting so hard. I had no money.
Must
And
have
then I
been
also
very
couldn't
tough.
have like find home security. So I even was trying to make an OnlyFans account, and
I
that was
thought
like my
about
only
it too.
choice.
I also thought about it, I'm not gonna lie. When you see like
Yeah,
those girls making that much money, you're like,
yeah,
oh my God. But
yeah,
it's a
yeah. So they didn't
decision.
even let me make an OnlyFans account on my computer. They
Ooh,
were really like it
ooh,
was
they
entrapment.
like
It was
those
digital
hackers,
entrapment.
those hackers, they were blocking you the access and everything. Okay.
So
So they
I
wanted to
couldn't.
have full control on you, like your financial independence. Like same thing. That's what they've been doing to me too. That's why I built my GoFundMe on my because they targeted my job too, affecting my health because they want to have full control on you. They want you to be like you said, homeless, so they could
Yes.
take control of you and possess you more and attack you even more.
And I think someone who describes this beautifully is actually Brian Coffrin, or Justin Carter was his real name, I believe, who was a former security specialist who was a stalker, and then he became actually a TI, the targeted individual, and so he actually has a videos. There's actually content. I can send you this if you want, about him
Yeah, of course.
going through the experience and really describing how they are forced into like economic instability, many of these victims, and he like goes more in depth into it as to describe in Seattle, but security specialist
Okay.
company.
And so, what happened during that phase where they blocking you the access for OnlyFans? They wanted you homeless. You saw them trying to come in your house. So, what did you do? Now you are like with your family, or
Now I am currently with my mom,
okay?
but
So you stayed with your family at the end, or did you were you homeless for a while, or
I was homeless because I couldn't stay there.
with your
I felt
family?
lasers. I felt lasers. There was high levels of radiation,
Yeah,
electromagnetic
and they
radiation.
were judging you. I guess your family they could not
Yeah,
understand.
so my mom actually she I would basically get my car. I would get into my car eventually. I just get into my car, and then I also try to find a way to lock myself in, because I also read that they can basically get into your car um very easily, and even if it's locked. So what I did was kind of like buy long cords, and then I kind of put a lock in the cords. to the chair so that the doors would remain closed, because in 2020, when I was trying to sleep in my car, get away from the stalking and human trafficking and directed energy weapon abuse in my house, I went, but the door handle would be left open, or like I couldn't.
So for me, you know what I did one day? I had to dig my legs in the sand. So I was in Miami at my ex boyfriend place that actually passed away now. And I was having those directed energy on my legs. And I went on the bath in urgency, like slamming my legs and moving my legs really fast so it goes away. But it was not going away. So I called the Uber. I woke up my ex and I told him I have to go to the beach. This is an idea that I got. I went and I plunged in the water and I dig the hole in the sand to really put my entire legs in the sand so that it deactivated the satellite terrorism, and it was able to help me. So maybe it can help, like if you're someone is in an urgency, maybe you can just dig your entire self in the sand, like. And I think that's why they're building houses, to underground houses, to really escape all of this terrorism that is happening too. Because imagine, like, if you're wealthy again, like, you think that only people that are I mean, struggling financially, that are targeted, but I think there's a lot of people, wealthy people, that are for
Yes,
sure
yes.
targeted because they could be threatened with their money too. Or
Mm-hmm.
so it's there's no reason to do that to anyone anyways. This is pure torture, corruption, it's human trafficking, it's just sadistic control, you know. But I'm sorry you had to go through that. Must have been really difficult.
No, yeah, it was very difficult, but I think there is a lot of silent suffering in the world. So I try and just think about how I'm not the only one in this world who has felt this way or has suffered this way. So I just try to have empathy for the
Yeah,
rest of the world and come to an understanding,
I
an
know.
objective understanding.
And what I just had in my mind, I'm gonna finish with that because I know we actually had to record 2 times, but now we
Yeah.
know, and you can remind me next time so I don't forget to press record. So what I've noticed from all of this spiritual warfare since 5 years, um, so basically, as someone like me, I'm an activist for animals, being vegan, vegetarian. I have 2 food vlogs also on my social media. Always been a very emotional, and I always had a lot of empathy even as a kid. This is my nature, you know. So my connection is very strong, like to nature, to others. I feel people's emotion through even my own body, you know. So I think this was kind of impossible for them to break this connection. It's hard to explain, but what I've noticed is like they're able to intervene and turn off the light of people, like almost the soul of people. Like, so some people don't even feel nothing. Like in the time of the war, soldiers were being trained physically in person, right? So now they do the same thing remotely to affect the empathy, the light of people, and training them so they don't feel nothing. So they were not able to do this with me, you know? And instead of, like, let's say all of the attacks that they did on me, I could have been scared and isolate more and stay hiding. And also they tried to make me feel ashamed of the rape that they were doing me, so I don't say it out loud on social media. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if they did this to you, so you don't speak. They would make you feel ashamed of speaking up because they would be like, oh, nobody's gonna want you or talk to you because this is disgusting and whatever. So I just want to finish with that. Basically is that they thought I would isolate and be scared, but instead I trusted more and loved more, and I had more compassion and empathy for even more people.
I
So,
think I think I've always been
so
like
the disconnection, sorry, the disconnection point, that's very important in the spiritual warfare. They try to
yeah.
disconnect people so that they could bring them into a puppet, like a soldier, like, so that people all come against each other and get corrupted, for example.
Yeah,
That's what I can understand.
I think that I was very spiritual. I was into music. I wanted to read very like a lot of comparative literature. But my situation was more like immediate danger. Like I was being raped at night during my sleep, and I couldn't figure out how they were getting in. I don't know if it was. I couldn't figure it
Like
out
in your sleep, you was like you were able to notice the next day they physically came in person, not just remotely.
in person. In person
Yes.
trafficking. I eventually, it took me a few months after like a lot of harassment, but I realized that there were sperm stains on my orange velvet couch that I had in 2020. And so and then I also had like a memories of like my dad finding white stains when I was around 13 and like going through like major depression in my room on my bed and asking, and he asked like, what is this? And I just like, I didn't even know what it was, so I was just like, I don't know, like milk or something. um but I know that I've been raped in my sleep for a long time. So it was like it was kind of like, just for me, it was this
I think the
acknowledgement of
same
immediate
thing.
danger.
Mm.
And yeah, so I've actually experienced a lot of like real in-person experiences. Like I've had in LA, like some night, like being wandering around because I was like, they would be nonstop and it would be following everywhere. And so there would be a man like hiding one time, and he had a gun. So he would be hiding with a gun, and
Oh my God.
yeah. So and then a police car showed up out of nowhere because they started to transmit police, 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 police really quickly, and so then a police showed up, and so and then he took me to the metro station, but it was really big, weird, because he had like this huge smile on his face. And so I've had a lot of I had a lot of strange interactions with the police. I also saw like the police and a black man with, I think he had a gun also, like interact with each other while I was being trafficked in a motel. So it was a very direct in person with me. And I think it was very possible to do that because I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't know a lot of people, and I
Yeah.
also was like jobless. It was,
Yeah.
and so
Same.
sometimes I don't think even if you're very spiritual or self-aware, or
I
even,
think, yeah.
yeah, I just don't think like that. That is always it's always possible. Like there is direct physical and an impact, you know.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
also, you know, you can let your, I think it's good to let your heart and spirit become one with you and your body and mental and physical
Well, you're very
conditions. So
strong if you're still here. You definitely have a protection over your life. And this is what I tell every targeted individual. A lot of them passed away. A lot of them are not here today.
yep.
A lot of them have dead that are covered up. Amelia, the survivor of electronic harassment, of satellite terrorism, of inhuman treatment.